you doing? I'm good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good.
Good. I'm
Good.
good. Are you good?
Good.
Hi guys. Welcome. We're good. We're good. Sorry, I was putting lotion on. I don't know why I wait until we play the intro to do this, but whatever. Hi. Welcome to History of a Haunting. That is Laura Ackerman.
And that is Carrie Hopper, a
Uh,
well-lotioned Carrie Hopper.
la 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 la. I did it again too. Sorry. Yes. Welcome to. I'm excited for this one, Laura. This is part one of our three-part series on H. Holmes, and this is going to be the Laura show, guys. She of the two of us, she is more well versed with the story of H. Holmes, and we did a really fabulous interview with Jeff Mudgett, the great great grandson of H. Holmes. So fabulous that it actually is being split into two parts, his interview. So for the next 3 weeks, we're going to be living in Chicago and possibly London, Texas. Was it Connecticut or New Hampshire? Or, I don't know. He
New
was all,
Hampshire.
New Hampshire. He was everywhere.
Indiana. Yeah.
Indiana, yes. So, yeah, today Laura is going to tell us all the things about America's first serial killer, H. Holmes. But before that, we do, as always, we have EVPs, guys. And the main EVP that we want to tell you is while you're listening to this, we will be here. It's finally here! Parapsychon
Yes.
4. Yes, so we will be
Right
here. Yeah, woof, good God. I never thought this day would come. So yeah, while you guys are listening to this crazy story, Laura and I will be hugging that fat man right there. I hope they have him again this year.
Me too.
Right? Won't that be so cool? So yeah, guys, welcome to oh, goodness gracious, Humphrey. Welcome to our three-part series on H. Holmes. This is part one. And yeah, this is all Laura all the time. So if you're ready, miss, what are your sources?
So my sources for today are allthatisinteresting.com, Cps.edu, investigationdiscovery.com, and news-press.com. I don't know what
Also,
to say about it right now.
also, I sorry, I totally cut off all that's
All
interesting.com.
right. That's okay. Hang on 1 second.
Sure, no problem. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You
Yes,
bet.
allthat'sinteresting.com did get cut off on the little thing, but
Yeah, sorry. I
I
just
fixed
kind of
it.
copied and, it was a thing. I
No problem.
I have no brain left. Also, guys, for the folks listening on audio, sorry, I don't think we even said anything about who the fat guy was. Is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? Stay Puft Marshmallow Man they had out in front of Mansfield last year. So Laura and I are hoping that he will be back this year. So as we paused, and you were taking care of Humphrey, I was like, oh, I didn't bother explaining what we were talking about to the, audio listeners. So sorry, guys. All right.
My dog waits until we start the podcast to extort me for treats. So he
Yeah,
waits,
well,
and then he goes and stands by his treat thing as he's kind of doing again, and is like, "If you want me to be quiet,
I
yes,
mean, you
you
call
gotta give
him
me
Dum
something."
Dum, but that sounds like he's pretty fucking smart.
He's super smart, but he's bad. They're all bad.
They're all bad, but we love them. All right, let's
All
talk
right,
about a
so
creepy dude.
all right, let's do it. The creepiest dude for real. Okay. So much. There's so much to cover. I'm gonna kind of gloss over some of it because otherwise, I mean, it's like a book's worth of shit that this guy has done. So we have to kind of
Okay.
pick our focuses. All right.
Okay.
So Herman Webster Mudgett, aka Dr. Henry Howard Holmes.
Oh, is that what the HH? I didn't even know what the HH stood for.
Yeah, is
Okay.
one of America's first noted serial murderers. He killed at least 27 women during the 1893 World Columbian Exposition, also known as the World's Fair in
How
Chicago.
how many women?
27.
Okay, that's what I thought you said. Jesus Christ.
Well, they think it's a lot more than that, probably, but. And then some people try to say it's less, but it seems like there's more. There's always more. So, in addition to murder, Holmes enjoyed performing extreme forms of torture and mutilation on those he lured into traps. He is perhaps best known for what would later be dubbed the Murder Castle, a two-story maze designed by Holmes with numerous trapdoors, hidden passages, and torture chambers.
Let's have a little looky-loo at that beautiful building.
It is, yeah, very unassuming from the outside, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just a big three-story building with shops on the bottom and kind of apartments and stuff, living quarters up on top.
Oh, is that what that top part is?
Uh-huh.
God damn. We'll put all these pictures on our
That's the
social media
hotel.
too, guys.
Yeah. So on May 16th, 1861, H. Holmes, he was born in Gilmanton, New Hampshire. Gilmanton was a small, isolated town located 20 miles north of Concord. Some sources claim that Holmes was born in 1860, but Holmes himself stated that he was, in fact, born in 1861. So don't believe the lies.
Because serial killers never lie.
Right? No, they're totally honest. Um, Holmes' parents were devout Methodists and demanded total obedience from him. Prior to marriage, his mother was a school teacher. She was described as a cold and distant individual who used religion as a daily guide for parenting.
That's how it all they all start, right? I'm looking at you, Ed Gein.
Right. Yeah, this is actually it kind of the family dynamic in his childhood kind of follows that Ed Gein thing. Not to the creepy point, but it gets there. So his alcoholic father followed a strict disciplinarian approach that resulted in physical abuse. So Holmes's parents were both physically and mentally abusive towards him, and this was particularly true of his father. The harsh disciplinary tactics include prolonged isolation and even food deprivation. Furthermore, his father reportedly held kerosene soaked rags over Holmes and the other children's mouths to quiet them when they cried. During
Oh,
these,
fuck.
yeah, it's pretty fucked up. So during these instances of abuse by his father, Holmes found refuge in the forest near his home.
Oh,
It was
fuck.
in the forest that Holmes, who was known as a very intelligent loner, was so traumatized by the abuse that it ultimately led to his inability to form meaningful relationships. But in the forest, sorry, I skipped the part. He began dissecting animals and developing his deviant fascination in things both dead and alive.
Oh, fuck. That sounds just like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, there's a lot of like big red flags, big red serial killer flags.
Holy crap. Okay.
All right, so this is kind of an interesting fact. Serial killers are 6 times more likely to have experienced physical abuse in their childhood than the average population. It's pretty high.
That is pretty high.
Yeah. However, Holmes's parents weren't the only contributing factor in his abusive upbringing. Um, as a child, Holmes was bullied and abused in school for his good grades and slightly odd demeanor. The most noted of these experiences occurred when Holmes, blindsided by classmates, was forced into a doctor's office where the hands of a skeleton were forcibly placed over his face.
Whoa.
Holmes later recollected that this event was the reason for his curiosity about anatomy, which later led him to pursue a degree at the University of Michigan Medical School in 1884.
Bullies suck, and this is what fucking happens.
Right? Don't bully kids.
Oh, God.
Holmes's urges to experiment with animals failed to subside throughout his youth. He found woodland creatures near his childhood home and performed dissections on them in order to explore their biology. Initially dissecting reptiles, he later moved on to mammals such as rabbits and dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, this not only provided Holmes with flesh cutting skills at a young age, but also acted as a psychological facilitator for his later obsession with human anatomy. Furthermore, advancements in medicine garnered much public attention to the point that skeletons were frequently displayed in doctors' offices' windows.
In their
For
windows.
Holmes, yeah, for Holmes, it's kind of weird, but I mean, it was like a thing, right?
I guess so,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, for Holmes, accessing medical information was relatively easy. In fact, Holmes's morbid curiosity may have led him to killing his childhood friend at the age of 11,
Oh, shit.
disguising it as an accident. Yeah, so Holmes, although a reclusive individual, had an older friend named Tom, and while exploring an abandoned home together, Holmes recalls witnessing Tom die by falling off a landing. However, there is speculation that Holmes was standing close enough behind Tom that he might have like pushed him, right?
I helped him off that landing.
Uh-huh. And it's also talked about he had some like younger cousins that drowned around that time, and people wonder if it's accidental or not. Some of his
Yeah.
younger cousins.
Yeah.
So that's also speculated that he might have started killing pretty young,
Jesus. 11. Fuck.
right? In 1878, towards the end of his teenage years, Holmes married Clara Levering of Alton, New Hampshire. Clara was the daughter of a wealthy local farmer. Unfortunately for Clara, this marriage may have simply been a means of financial gain for Holmes. A year later, after graduating early from the first superior public school system, which means high school,
Oh, okay. I thought that
he
was
left.
like the name of the school system was
Right? It was just,
superior.
it was amazing.
Okay, gotcha.
No. So he left Clara and enrolled at the University of Michigan Medical School in Ann Arbor. Holmes used Anna's money to pay his tuition. The tactic of swindling women out of their fortunes later became a favorite tactic for Holmes. He was, at one point, he had 3 wives in 3 different cities. The women knew nothing about one another.
Jesus Christ. Okay, question
Right.
really quick. So
Okay.
this is when he's Herman Mudgett, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So he's still Mudgett. He married Clara and then he goes to school.
so then is Clara, did he have children with Clara?
Yes.
And this
A son.
is where Jeff is descended from, this marriage to her?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, okay. All right. Sorry, go on.
That's okay. Holmes was very charming, handsome, and persuasive in convincing women to take out life insurance policies naming him as the beneficiary. Don't ever fucking do that. With each mistress.
Listen, call me if you need a life insurance policy on your husband or wife. Kidding.
Okay, so with each mistress, he concocted elaborate stories to explain why they left him. In medical school, he began to personally procure cadavers to study, dissect, and use in his own research. He also began robbing graves and morgues and sold the cadavers to medical schools or utilized them to swindle insurance companies.
No, very Burke
Holmes,
and Hare.
yeah,
Yeah.
Holmes conned insurance companies by creating pseudonyms for himself, then naming himself as the beneficiary of a life insurance policy he took out on a fictitious individual. So, to complete his ruse, he used a cadaver that had been disfigured to render it unrecognizable.
Oh, okay.
So, working in Holmes's favor was his attractiveness and mysteriousness. On the surface, he appeared genuine and caring, but beneath the facade was a manipulative and fraudulent businessman who used his intellect and charm to promote his calculated scams. So during this time, Holmes ignored his wife and son, but it was not until he received nearly $12,500 on a single life insurance scam that he abandoned them completely.
How much is that today?
I don't know, but I would guess a fucking lot.
It's a,
So,
it's a lot, guys. A lot. Leave your family a lot.
yeah,
All right,
I
let
would
me
say
look
at
it
a
up.
0. But Holmes graduated from medical school in 1884 and received his MD. He
Okay.
went on to use his new title to create his lasting alias of Dr. Henry Howard Holmes. Being a doctor was the perfect facade for him, as it gave him access to the access, tools, and resources he needed to continue killing. How much is it?
It is, hang on, let's see. Start
Right, you're
here.
kind of keeping
Did you
us in
say
suspense here.
1884?
12,500.
$386,942.60 today.
Yeah,
That's
that's a lot of fucking money.
That's a lot of fucking money. I don't know if I would leave my family for that, but you know,
Whatevs.
listen.
It was better for them in the long run, really.
I mean, kind of. It was the kindest thing he could have done.
Pretty much. So H.H. Holmes first came to Chicago in 1886, leaving behind more than one previous life. So he had obviously good reason that he had to change his name.
Good God. Aw.
I'm like, ah.
Oh, I thought you were. I was like, are you reading a sad part now? Or are you going to share with the
I mean,
class?
kind of.
Are you going to share
So,
with the class?
some of the previous things that kind of also happened was that he was the last person to have been seen with a missing little boy in New York. And
Oh my
he
god.
worked as a pharmacist in Philadelphia, and a customer died after taking his pills. So he has, he's kind of nonstop workaholic all the time, right?
Take a vacation now and then, buddy. Kind of jack of all trades too.
All right, so let's talk about the fair. Let's set the scene here. So, in the 1893 Chicago World's Fair Exposition highlighted some of the modern marvels of the time, including the Ferris wheel, dishwasher, and fluorescent light bulbs.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that. Wow. All
yeah,
right.
it's like shit. So the fairground spanned 600 acres, had over 200 buildings, and it was reported that 26 million visitors attended in just 6 months.
Damn.
That's a ton of fucking people. Actually, it's millions.
How many people
Um,
is that in today's people?
Today's people, it's a billion. Um, this environment was a playground for Holmes's new creation, the castle, which he created in great detail and complete secrecy, a perfect setting to lure his victims. So during construction, Holmes was aware that the employees of the fair employed less than 2 weeks were not entitled to pay. So this is what they think he was doing. So he fired people, that were like had got to about their 2 weeks, so he didn't have to pay them. The ones that he didn't kill, he may have also killed people to avoid paying them. Builders,
Oh
um,
shit.
yeah. So another reason for his actions was also right to keep the knowledge of the castle's layout a secret. Um, the
Okay,
castle,
so
be-
they couldn't be like, oh, I built that. I know exactly how it
so
where
he
this.
switched.
Humphrey does not like this story, ladies and gentlemen. He is not happy, and she's having to wrangle him. So, good grief, this dude.
All right,
We good?
I think we're
Okay.
okay, maybe.
I was like, do I need to?
As soon as I start talking, what do you need to contribute? Go.
Hang on, guys. We'll be right back in 2 seconds.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so he designed the entire castle, and then didn't want to pay people. He would kill them or fire them, and then get new workers, and so he kept it all a secret. And also, he's a cheap bastard.
Do we
So
want to see the layout of the castle?
I do.
Okay, here we go.
So that's the second floor, which I will talk about more.
Okay.
But there are like trapdoors, hidden rooms, etc.
Holy secret
Fucking
hiding
fun
place,
shit.
bathroom. How? So when was this drawn up?
After it was discovered.
Oh, after. Oh shit. Secret chamber, five door room. So it was kind of like Winchester Mystery House, but way more fucked.
Yeah, but with like secret passageways, and places like he could drop bodies down to the basement.
Jesus Christ. Oh, here,
Yeah.
there it is. Shoot from roof to basement.
So fucking handy.
Bathroom with hidden stair. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right.
All right. So the castle became an elaborate scheme to fulfill Holmes's dark desires, while also allowing him to make an income selling the skeletons of his victims to medical schools. It's very entrepreneurial.
Listen.
So, yeah, when he was constructing the castle, he used complex architecture and a series of intuitive designs to suit his preference. So inside the castle, Holmes built an operating room, a torture chamber, a mortuary, and a room for conducting human experiments.
God
The
damn.
castle's guest rooms were built, quote, in maze-like fashion, incorporating corridors leading nowhere, with concealed passages behind walls, sliding panels, secret staircases, peepholes into the rooms through the backs of pictures. That's some fucking Scooby-Doo shit.
Now we know where they
trapdoors.
got it.
Right? Seriously, but they probably did. And trapdoor, I'll never like see that the same. And trapdoors concealing metal chutes that connected with the elaborately designed basement.
Okay, we got to see this picture again. Let's see
Yeah,
here.
so
If
if
you
you want to
guys are
pull it up
watching
again.
this on TV, it's probably easier to see, but okay, the maze, we've got hallway, the hanging secret chamber, trap door from third floor, laboratories, Jesus, sealed room with the hang. Okay, I read that. To trap door from third floor, bathroom with hidden stairs to basement, the blind room. What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
Mysterious closed room. Okay, this is obviously not what he was calling these rooms.
Right,
This
those
is
weren't his names.
these
This
are
is
my
like after it
mysterious.
was found. This is just a sketch. So, and it's hard to verify how right any of this stuff is. Obviously, there's no fucking room. So this is the best I could find, and it does look like it's legit. But
It sure does. I mean, oh dear God in heaven.
right,
Okay. Oh,
all
by the
right.
way,
So
guys, this is Holmes.
yes, actually, that's him next to something I'm going to talk about later. But yeah, so he's on the right, and on the left is a composite sketch of um, another famous person. But we'll talk about them later
It looks
in a
like
little bit.
this guy kind of look. Listen, I love Freddie Mercury, but this kind of guy kind of looks like Freddie Mercury, but it's just a much higher forehead.
Right. So talking about the hotel again, the hotel was named the World's Fair Hotel. Um, just so you know what to avoid. For his castle, okay, so the Holmes plan for the first door, as you can tell in the picture, like we said, there were 3 floors. So the first floor was an entire block, a city block of storefronts that he rented out to all the new businesses coming into the city.
Cool. Okay.
The third floor were the apartments for new residents, looking to make it big in the city. But most likely, those unsuspecting residents would eventually become his victims. So those victims, they got to see the second floor, which is the one we had pulled up just a minute ago. That was full of the asphyxiation chambers, mazes, and hidden stairs.
The blind room.
And
I got to know what that
yeah,
was.
I don't fucking know, but it's crazy. So, but that's why it's so nuts, right? Like there's so much speculation about what was really in there and what wasn't. But in the basement, um, that's what that's where everybody would end up.
Ew.
Yeah. So a year after the castle's completion, the World's Fair opened in Chicago. Holmes used the increase in tourism to his advantage by advertising lodging vacancies and employment openings as a ruse to lure in victims. The hustle and bustle of the fair and the subsequent influx of out-of-towners provided Holmes with a steady supply of victims. Um,
Mm.
so the home was completed in 1882. So then a year later, he's got all these people coming in. But by 1894, police would be exploring its winding passages while Holmes sat behind bars.
That didn't last long.
No, it sure didn't. At
Ah,
first,
he got
authorities
cocky.
At first, authorities were confused by what they found. There were hinged walls and false partitions. Yeah, their 5 room one room had like 5 doors, others had none. Secret airless chambers were found underneath floorboards, and iron plate lined walls appeared to stifle all sound.
Jeez, iron. Wow. Okay.
Okay, so in his own apartment, it had a trapdoor in the bathroom, which opened to reveal a staircase that led to a windowless cubicle. In the cubicle, there was allegedly a large chute that tunneled through to the basement, um, and it wasn't used for dirty laundry.
From his own personal
Right, there's a trapdoor
room.
that dropped down to like another, like a windowless room, and then from there, that would like, and there was a large chute. So even from his own apartment.
Jesus Christ.
So one notable room was lined with gas fixtures. Holmes would apparently seal his victims in, flip a switch in an adjacent room, and wait for the horror to unfold.
Yeah.
And there was another chute nearby that. All of the doors and some of the steps were connected to an intricate alarm system as well. Whenever someone stepped into the hall or headed downstairs, a buzzer sounded in his bedroom. And it should be noted that these descriptions have been met with some skepticism by historians, especially in recent years. But so some of these designs may have been exaggerated or
Mm,
even invented by the newspapers of the era. But we do know for sure he had the chutes, and
ladders.
he's a crazy fucker. Yeah, all right, chutes and ladders.
We're finding the origination of so many things in this
We
story.
sure are. So the first clue about the bizarre floor plan's true purpose came to the cops in a pile of bones. Most of the bones were from animals, but some of them were human. They were so small that they almost certainly belonged to a child, one who was no more than 6 or 7 years old.
Fuck.
Now keep in mind during this time he's been, going after mostly single women, some single women with children, that later disappeared. He's basically on his killing spree.
Right. Were there widows that he had also taken advantage of? I
I
thought.
believe so. Yeah, basically any woman who could be by themselves that maybe had money. Yeah, he went after every. There's so many. That's the part. This is where we get into like, okay, we're gonna kind of gloss over who may or may not have been his victim, and
Sure, sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So when authorities descended into the cellar, the scope of the building's hidden horrors was revealed. Beside a blood-soaked operating table, they found a woman. They found women's clothes. Another surgical surface was nearby, along with a crematory, an array of medical tools, a bizarre torture device, and shelves of disintegrating acids.
Oh goddamn.
Right. So again, there's no way to know how many people he killed in there. Holmes's fascination with dead bodies had apparently lasted long past college, as had his surgical skills. After dropping the victims down through the chutes, he reportedly dissected them, cleaned them, and then sold the organs or skeletons to medical institutions or on the black market. So during his short 2 years in the castle, Holmes hired more than 150 women to work as his stenographers. A few of them were known to be his mistresses as well.
I'm sorry,
Um,
150 stenographers for
so
what?
he would hire a lot of women to work for him, and then they would become his mistresses. He would kill a lot of them. Like, yeah, kind of creepy, right?
Oh my god.
Huh.
I hear this scratching behind me. It's I didn't even know Leia was in here. She's trying to
The
get
dogs are on it.
comfy on the couch, and I'm like, what the hell is that noise? Oh, Missy Moo Moo. Hi, sweet baby. Okay, sorry, go on. I was actually a little creeped
So after
out
the
by the sound because I'm like,
like I hear
oh shit. I hear
look behind the painting.
the body scratching on the wall. Yeah.
That's funny. So after the fair ended, Holmes and his close associate Benjamin Peitzel, they left Chicago to commit insurance fraud across the country. This ended in Holmes's 1894 arrest for attempting to swindle a St. Louis pharmacy. And while he was incarcerated, he met fellow criminal Marion Hedgepeth. The two conspired to create an insurance scam by fabricating Peitzel's death. Holmes then decided it was easier to simply kill Peitzel and his family, um, which is sad, two young children, while also cutting out his co-conspirator. So these decisions resulted in a $10,000 life insurance payout, which we know is a shit ton of money.
Yes.
However, when Hedgepeth read of Peitzel's death, he was mad that he got cut out, and so he alerted the authorities to Holmes, which forced Holmes on the run. So in November of 1894, Holmes was arrested by the Pinkerton Detective Agency in Boston.
Ah, yes.
He was charged with conspiracy to cheat and defraud the Fidelity Mutual Life Insurance Company, and he was sent to prison in Philly. Upon his capture and the subsequent discovery of his house of horror, newspapers gave Holmes the moniker of Archfiend, the Devil Incarnate, Monster of 63rd Street, and the Torture Doctor.
I like the
In
Archfiend.
addition, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
In addition, Holmes earned the label of Bluebeard for his habit of luring in and taking advantage of multiple women, most of which he ended up killing. So he wasn't fun to hang out with.
Dear
In
God.
1895, Yeah, Holmes was tried and convicted for the Peitzel murders, which included 3 of Peitzel's children. During his trial, Holmes officially confessed to 27 murders, but later told his lawyer that he had actually killed 133 people. So, just to clarify, he was actually only convicted of the
20.
Benjamin Peitzel murder. Yeah.
Oh, wait a
So,
minute. Oh, so
um,
he was only convicted of the
of one
one,
murder.
but
Yeah, that's all
he
they needed.
confessed to 27.
Yeah, and then told his lawyers it was actually more like 133. Um,
Mm.
yeah, these claims gained credibility after the Chicago police allegedly discovered the gruesome remains of more than 100 dead bodies all scattered throughout the murder castle.
Jesus Christ.
Now, is that true or not? We don't know. Though he boasted of committing at least 27 murders, like I said, he gave 3 different confessions while in prison, all with different numbers. So,
Oh, jeez. He's like that
yeah,
Ronald DeFeo guy.
yeah, like
Yeah,
I killed
Amityville.
27, I killed 103, I killed 9, whatever. So,
It wasn't me. It was an evil pig named what was Jody.
right. So the true amount of victims, I mean, it's impossible to figure out because, he could disintegrate the leftover body parts in acid, or he could burn them in his human-sized stove.
Jesus.
Yeah. In one pile of ashes, investigators found a small gold chain from a woman's shoe.
Well, so
Like,
clothes and everything. He was just
yeah, it was just like a chain from her shoe. Yeah, this like
torch it
shit
all.
around.
Wow. Okay.
All right. So Holmes was hung at Mensing Prison on May 7th, 1896. He was reportedly calm in the moments prior to his hanging, seemingly unconcerned about his imminent demise. Ironically, Holmes took precautions to prevent the dismemberment of his own body. According to his will,
Uh,
his casket was to be filled with cement and put in a grave with an additional 2 feet of cement, which we know they did because they
yes.
exhumed him.
Yes.
So, between Holmes's arrest and conviction for the Peitzel murders, the castle was mysteriously destroyed by fire. The fire may have been intentionally set by neighbors to keep the building from becoming a tourist attraction.
They were big on that kind of shit back then.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, oh, bunch of horrific murders. Let's go in and take a look. And the cops are like, "That's okay. Come on in."
Right? Dude, look in there.
You want to see some really fucked up shit? Check out
Right.
the blind room. There's nothing but eyeballs all over the floor.
Right. Fucking crazy shit. So, as I mentioned in the Jack the Ripper episode, and we will definitely discuss more in part 2 with Jeff Mudgett, H.H. Holmes is also a suspect in the Jack the Ripper murders. So, just a little touch of the reasons why people believe that it was Holmes. There was a handwriting analysis that Jeff says proof Holmes and Jack the Ripper were actually the same person. He explored that evidence in his 2011 book Bloodstains and the 2017 History Channel documentary series American Ripper.
Which is excellent. Everybody should watch
Mm-hmm.
it.
So, in the composite sketch bears a striking resemblance. If you want to pull that back up.
Yeah.
So, to the left, for those of you on YouTube or when you pull it up on our social media, the left is the Jack the Ripper composite sketch, and to the right is a picture of H.H. Holmes.
The real guy looks so unassuming. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't look like a man that you would be afraid of.
Right. So Ripper, people have always said that he was probably American because of the vernacular in the Dear John letter. He does have, obviously, doctor skills. He loves to cut things up. He likes organs. His paper trail suddenly stops during the murders. All those schemes and frauds that he was doing, all the defrauding of insurance companies and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It stops and then starts again after the last murder. They do find some of his aliases, although he did have like 40 on some shipping manifests.
That's
Although we
right.
can't really prove that he was in London. There's some good some what do you call it,
Compelling.
coincidences.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about all of that and more on next episode with Jeff Mudgett, his great grandson.
Yes.
And star of that series. So through all that, I have a fun fact. Are you ready? Because I know how much you love fun facts.
I do. I'm so ready. Go. Okay, go.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's a famous person that is also related to H.H. Holmes, and you're gonna love it.
Wait,
Do you know who? Do you know who it is?
is it Meghan Markle?
Yes, it's Meghan Markle. Oh darn, you knew.
Oh my God. You know what? That's crazy, that Laura, because I literally just read this week.
Yeah. So I just came across it in my research, and I thought that
I
would
don't
tell you
exactly
that.
know how though. So how is she?
They just share a common ancestor. I don't know. Yeah,
It's probably
crazy,
through.
right?
That is so crazy. Huh. So Jeff is related to her too. What if he knows that?
He does.
Does he
I
know
actually
that?
asked for his comment. Yeah, yeah. I think it's probably cousins of cousins of cousins.
Oh,
Of
I'm
cousins.
sure. Like sub
Yeah,
11th cousins 4 times
yeah.
removed or some kind of bullshit. Yeah.
But still entertaining nonetheless.
I'm so sorry. The minute you said
No,
that,
I'm
I was
glad that
like,
you knew. That's
but
funny.
I
Okay.
just read it this week. That's crazy that happens to be your fun fact. Where did I read that? I can't remember.
But yes, very interesting. And yeah, Holmes is fascinating, and there are just layers and layers and layers of stuff. I mean, the murder castle is one thing, and that's obviously what he's known for, and it's fascinating because it's fucking just bananas. And then all the women that he took advantage of and defrauded and murdered, and
Yeah. It
it
was a
goes on and
big
on.
it was big doings back in those days to file fraudulent life insurance claims. Like the story that I told you about Michael Malloy. That guy that just wouldn't die and they were like, we're going to kill him and have him drink himself to death. These motherfuckers are the reason why it is difficult to get your life insurance license now, because there are so many laws
Right?
about how to spot people who are trying to commit insurance fraud. You fuckers.
So much insurance fraud. I mean, that still happens today, but not. I mean, he made it. That's how he made his fortunes. And also, what? Like, he just went through money like nobody's business. He had to be because.
Well, I wonder how much
And
it
I know he
costs.
like wanted to come out. He wanted to come off as affluent, and that's part of how he got all these women.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
rich and he's handsome, I guess, for the time, and
Yeah, I mean, and if and sociopaths are so charming, right? They
mhm,
can be whatever personality type that the person that they're manipulating needs them to be to gain their
right,
trust, so that they can. So, I mean, they're chameleons,
mhm.
really. I am one of those people, 100,000%, that thinks that Holmes was the Ripper. I think he was. Like,
I think it's totally viable. Yeah, for sure. Because
yep.
there's just a lot of circumstantial evidence. They don't really have a lot of. I mean, there are other suspects and stuff, but I
There
mean,
are,
who knows?
yeah. But I think one of the I think if it's not Holmes, it was at least an American,
Hmm.
because that boss letter,
Yeah, dear boss letter.
dear boss letter, that is something that was American English. That wasn't something that British English, they didn't use that. The other thing that I thought was the forensic linguistics, that he had them take a look at the letter that was sent to the paper or wherever, the police or wherever it was sent, where it said like, I won't stop. And that was American English wording, where British English would have said, I won't quit. That, and instead of right away, like, we're going to take care of this right away, that's American English as well. Instead of, the British would have said straight away. So little things like that in the letter, I was like, hey, listen. So if it's not Holmes, I think it's for sure an American.
Yeah,
But
there's a lot of reasons. Yeah, to think that too.
yeah, I mean, I guess the physical description of Jack the Ripper, you know, bowler hats and big bushy mustache, that was just a fashion. That was a fashion trend you know, here and in London, and you know, so that's kind of makes it difficult because I kind of feel like a lot of guys look like him.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I agree. But yeah. But he does fit that look, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that, of
Yeah,
course it's all circumstantial, but they do kind of line up. So
for sure. Um, Great job.
yes,
I love
thank
the, I know you've been wanting to do this for a long time. Um, and then we reached out to Jeff and asked him, you know, explain who we are and what we do, and did he want to be on the show? And the minute he said yes, I was like, Laura, go, you're up. We're doing it. We're doing it. So, yeah, next week, guys, is part one of our two-part interview with Jeff Mudgett. We had a really wonderful time with him. He is a very lovely, lovely man. And I think he might be, he has done so much research on this ever since he found out that he was descended from H.H. Holmes, that he's probably one of the leading experts on Holmes, just right up there with historians and things like that. Simply because, of course, it was like a passion project for him, which is awful given that, you know, nobody wants to, you know, find out you're related to somebody famous, but not like this.
right. Yeah, but I do find it super interesting, like all the stuff that he went and researched and all of that. So it gives him like a lot of insights into who he was and or at least seemed to be.
It really does. I don't know as I would want to know. I don't know as I would have ever done. I don't know as I would have done it,
Yeah.
done anything like he's done.
H.H. Holmes, though, just by himself. I mean, okay, the murder castle is fucking nuts, and I could literally just talk about the murder castle for 7 years. I'm so like, just like, what, what?
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and it like the only thing that sucks is like not being able to know more of what happened in there because but he was so smart and he got like he really thought of everything, like
Yeah.
how to get rid of the bodies, how to get rid of evidence.
Well,
Was
and
a
you know,
smart guy.
well, and you have to wonder what that what was his father putting on rags? Kerosene?
Kerosene.
You have
Like
to
if that
wonder what
started
that
gas stuff, yeah. Or what it did
yeah,
to his fucking brain.
what it did to his brain. Yeah. I mean, depending on how old he was. Um
It sounds like something his dad did to get them to just basically stop crying. So you would think young.
yeah, well that's what I was thinking. Yeah, like
Yeah.
dear God. Well, yeah. So this is really wonderful. We're gonna be doing a lot of this is so wonderful. I just love such a fan of
It's
true
a feel
crime.
good story.
Such a feel good story. Guys, we do have there is a paranormal tie-in with it. We're not meandering over into the true crime world. But you know we love to talk about we love true crime just as much as we love the paranormal. So when we've got a true crime story that bleeds into the paranormal world, we love it. So we do talk with Jeff about the paranormal aspect of H.H. Holmes in the upcoming episodes. And I think I think what he's got to say is really interesting. And I might have given him a little bit of a surprise the end of next week's episode that maybe he wasn't entirely expecting, but you'll have to tune in to find out what exactly that was. In the meantime, yeah. So for the next 3 weeks, it's all about H.H. Holmes, people. And we hope you enjoy it because we've really had a great time with all of this. So, yeah. That's that on that. That's all I've got.
All right, me too.
Okay, Laura, that's all. That's all you got?
No more murder castle stories now.
No more Murder Castle stories. Okay, well, all right, guys. We're gonna run, and we hope you are having a wonderful weekend. We hope you are coming to Mansfield and Ohio State Reformatory to see us, say hi, tell us your personal creepy paranormal story, and to be entered in for a contest to win the complete set of Andrea Perron's books, House of Darkness, House of Light. We will be doing that drawing next Friday, May 26th. That's going to be announced. The winner is going to be announced on Facebook. So, yeah, if you come by and you tell us your story, and then tune in because you might be the winner of Andrea's books. And they're really great. They are the true story of The Conjuring, which celebrates its 10-year anniversary this year. The Conjuring movie celebrates its 10-year anniversary, and Laura and I will be there at the party. Laura and I are going to Ocean State Paracon in Harrisville, Rhode Island, September, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 11, something around there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to be vendors at the Paracon up there, and yeah, special screening of The Conjuring 10-year anniversary with Andrea Perron herself. We're going to be poking around and introducing ourselves to the ghosts of the Harrisville farmhouse. So yeah, we're excited. We got a lot of big stuff that we're going to be a part of this year, and we're very excited for it. So it all starts this weekend. We love you, and as always, stay safe out there because you never know who
is behind the painting.
Yeah, man, that's creepy.
So creepy.
Dear God, and don't trust a room with no doors and windows. That's not good.
Like, how did you even get there? What the fuck?
A little bit.
Like trapdoors. It's probably a trapdoor.
Yeah. You never, I mean, you might be at the Winchester Mystery House. You might be at the Murder Castle. So just always be aware, guys.
Right.
That's our takeaway. And so we're going to go because we've got lots of paranormal goodness to get involved with here at Ohio State Reformatory. And we will see you next week with our part 1 interview with Jeff Mudgett. So bye, guys. We will see you in a week. I just said that, didn't I?
Yes.
I'm very tired.
Right. Okay.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.